Good evening, Madam Chair, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that Father's Day should be renamed Special Persons Day. As the affirmative team, we believe that this statement is true. We define Special Persons Day as a day of recognition of some special person in someone's life. Today, I will be addressing the social aspects of this debate. These being that Special Persons Day gives an opportunity for those who aren't involved those who don't meet conventional parent roles to get involved, and that it is a day for people to become more inclusive. Our second speaker, Hannah, will be addressing the political aspects of this debate. These being that Father's Day is grossly commercialised, and that through the examples of other countries, Special Persons Day has had many benefits and can be majorly successful. Now, on to my first point, that Special Persons Day reflects modern changing values and family dynamics. Through time, many things have changed, and so should the family dynamics present within today's society. Gone are the stereotypes of the happily married family, where the most common family type was a married couple with 2 children. Nowadays, there is a huge variety of family types, including LGBT families, blended families, single-parent families, foster families, and the list continues. According to the Williams Institute Demographic Report, the number of unidentified unconventional families is increasing. In 2012, 5.8% of the population of Australia identified as being part of an unconventional family. In 2016, this figure rose to 7.3%, counting up to display a figure of approximately 1.6 million Australians. These unconventional families demonstrate that there are a huge variety of people involved in the role of raising a child, and take on many different aspects, typically fatherly or motherly roles. Gender stereotypes and roles whilst raising a child have evolved, meaning that the roles of mothers and fathers are now more balanced. Whilst previously it may have been considered the norm for mothers to take maternity leave to look after a child, it is increasingly common that fathers take paternity leave to look after the child, whilst the mother returns to work. It is evident that in today's society, the stereotypes that have previously defined us are changing, and our holidays should reflect this. We are not the same society that originally set up Father's Day, and changing Father's Day to Special Persons Day recognises the many people that would be allowed to be involved. Now, on to my second point, how changing Father's Day to Special Persons Day can open up the opportunity for people to be more inclusive. It is obvious that promoting the name change from Father's Day to Special Persons Day will allow society to become way more inclusive, as illustrated by Dr. Ruby Red Scarlett. Dr. Scarlett, convener of Social Justice in Early Childhood Activist Group, states that shifting the language around those emotive and important days can be significant and more inclusive for both children and parents alike. She believes that there are better ways to describe emotional events around families than the way we currently describe them. This is true and can prove to allow our society to become more inclusive of the unconventional family structures. In a study conducted by the Roy Morgan Research Facility, over 70% of same-sex couples with children expressed feelings of being ostracised and outcast over specific gender-focused days, such as Father's Day or Mother's Day. Some may argue that one parent could celebrate Mother's Day and the other could celebrate Father's Day. However, this forces parents to adopt a specific role as either a mother or a father, even if a child has 2 mothers or 2 fathers. The name change to Special Persons Day would help rectify this in 2 ways. Not only would it become more inclusive of the unconventional family dynamics, but also increase acceptance towards LGBT parents. This inclusiveness is critical to creating a socially cohesive and diverse society. If Father's Day was to be renamed Special Persons Day, then it would open up a more diverse opportunity for celebration, including acknowledging other people that are influential in someone's life. In conclusion, Father's Day should be renamed Special Persons Day because it promotes the opportunity for others who don't meet conventional parent roles to be involved, and that is a day for society to become more inclusive. Thank you.
now call upon the first negative speaker, Emily Eaton.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that Father's Day should be renamed Special Persons Day. We agree with the definition given by the affirmative team, but we would like to redefine Father's Day as a day of the year which all fatherly figures are particularly honoured by their children or those who look up to them. Before I begin, I would like to point out some flaws in the opposition's debate. The first affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that changing Father's Day to Special Persons Day will allow more modern family dynamics. This is wrong because changing the name is not the way to approach these new modern families, as I will discuss in my next point. Today's first speaker, I will be talking to you about the economic side and the money that would be wasted. In addition, I will explain the social side and how the name change will steal away opportunities to develop empathy. Our second speaker will be talking to you about the value that will be lost if we change the name of Father's Day. And she will also explain the vast amount of inequality that will be created. Our third speaker will then rebut and sum up our team's case. I'll be discussing two very important points. My first point is that changing Father's Day to Special Persons Day will result in an over-generic society lacking in opportunities to learn and reflect upon our diversities. Changing the name of this day in order to be more inclusive of children who do not have fathers or who have a different family setup will have a negative effect on our society. If we continue to reinvent or change the name of every day that is not relevant or inclusive to every individual, then we will eliminate every opportunity to understand and educate ourselves about our differences. It is also condescending to believe that every family wants or needs a father and would feel left out on Father's Day. Having different days allows us to celebrate different ideas and people to reflect on our diversity. For example, if we got rid of Easter just because not everyone is Christian, then we are taking away the right of Christians to celebrate this significant day and the opportunity for others to learn about another religion. We should be learning to acknowledge all types of families regardless of their setup, instead of pretending that there is nothing different about each type of family. This will promote Australia's ultimate goal of equality. Therefore, we need to keep Father's Day and educate communities to be mindful of people in different family situations. We should encourage people to include families who may have lost a father or whose fathers may not be around anymore in a family-based celebration. This would help children to understand that families are all different and help them to develop empathy. Creating a separate day as Father's Day for Special Persons Day would give further opportunities to expand our empathy and acknowledge our differences. Empathy is the key to human success and has allowed us to excel beyond all other species, according to countless theories by Charles Darwin and many other scientists. It is now an accepted theory among prominent scientists like Stephen Hawking that the survival of our race is down to our ability to feel empathy. But if we were to change Father's Day to Special Persons Day, we are removing the important opportunity that we have to nurture our empathetic skills that are essential to our survival. Now to my second point, that there are a lot of economic losses from changing Father's Day to Special Persons Day. The time and money wasted can be redirected to create a new day, to recognise different family setups, or a separate Special Persons Day. This would avoid the problem that I discussed in my first point and the ones that my second speaker will discuss in her points. By getting rid of Father's Day, the massive industries will have to remove all Father's Day merchandise and would not be able to sell leftover stock. This is because all labels reading Father's Day would need to be changed to Special Persons Day. This would mean that companies would waste millions of dollars. Also, there are no statistics saying that people would buy products that have Special Persons Day on it. In fact, the opposite. In 2016, Woolworth launched their first Special Persons Day cake on Father's Day, and many protested against it. A small-scale violent fight broke out in Woolworth store, and the photo of a cake on social media accounted for hundreds of nasty comments from many whom disagreed with the cake. People refused to buy the cake, and Woolworths ended the production of it. This supports that changing Father's Day to Special Persons Day would be a massive waste of time and money. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, In conclusion, we, the negative team, strongly believe that Father's Day should not be changed to Special Persons Day because of the points that I have already stated tonight and the points that the rest of my team will discuss. Thank you.
I now call upon the second affirmative speaker, Hannah Keir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hannah and I am the second speaker on the affirmative team tonight. As our first speaker has already stated, the topic for tonight's debate is that Father's Day should be renamed Special Persons Day. Before I begin my case to you tonight, I would like to point out some flaws in the opposition's argument. Tonight, the first negative speaker discussed the economic and social aspect of this debate. She stated that changing the name will promote fairness and empathy, but however, as our first affirmative stated, this is definitely not the case. In addition, she stated that if we made this day an individual day, it could improve this and stop economic loss. As I will elaborate in my second point tonight, Father's Day is grossly commercialised, and this debate is not about whether it's making it a separate day. My first point to you tonight will show you that there are already public holidays in other countries which share the same values as Special Persons Day, and that they run successfully with vast benefits. Around the world, there are many countries that celebrate Parents' Day, a holiday very similar to what Special Persons Day could be in Australia. Countries that observe Parents' Day include South Korea, which celebrates it on the 8th of May, and the Philippines, which celebrate it on the first Monday of December. The objective of this day is to say thank you and show appreciation of the endless time, effort and love parents give to their children, something that mothers and fathers should do but fail to achieve, which I will elaborate on in my second point. In South Korea and the Philippines, children give gifts of flowers and food to parents. However, there is one not so small difference between Parents' Day and the holiday we celebrate in Australia. Parents' Day is far more inclusive to families with different parental structures when compared to Mother's and Father's Day, and these familial structures were presented to you by our team's first speaker, Hattie. South Korea is a perfect example of success when changing a public holiday dedicated to a gender-specific role model into a less gender-specific named day. Renaming Father's Day to Special Persons Day will potentially be even more inclusive than Parents' Day, as it honours other figures who play a major role in supporting children, such as grandparents, uncles, aunts, godparents, families and friends. This day can and will still hold the same values of appreciation, respect and love as Father's Day does, but will be more accessible to families who break the mould of what used to be considered family. As such, Parents' Day in South Korea and the Philippines is an ideal and real example of the positive effects that could happen if Father's Day was renamed Special Persons Day. Secondly, Father's Day is grossly commercialised, and changing the name of this public holiday could be a way for us to rethink this celebration. Since its creation, Father's Day has been the archetypal hallmark holiday, a day that purpose serves little more than time to buy Dad a card and a box of chocolates. According to Leigh Eric Schmidt in his book Consumer Rights, The Buying and Selling of American Holidays, Father's Day was created by the National Council of Promotion of Father's Day, which was organised by the Associated Menswear Retailers to serve as a second Christmas, or at least to serve as far as menswear sales were concerned. Marketing executives from tobacco, floral, stationery and clothing companies seized the economic opportunity and the event presented, and in 1921, the
Florists Exchange noted that Father's Day presented an excellent opportunity for businesses if rightly developed. By the mid-1980s, Father's Day Council had achieved their original goal and more, and a spokesperson of the group stated that Father's Day had transcended into a celebration, into a season of 3 weeks, truly becoming a second Christmas for all men's gift-orientated industries. As the event became more popular, some families did give this day a more sentimental, genuine tone. But at its core, Father's Day has been and is still today the quintessential example of corporate success. Ironically, since its conception, Father's Day has failed to live up to the retail success of Mother's Day, with the National Retail Foundation reporting that 64% of children plan on buying Dad a card for his special day, whereas 81% of children actually do buy a card for their mum. So not only is Father's Day a little more than a hallmark holiday, it's failing to be an event that celebrates equality in the home. Renaming this holiday to Special Persons Day has the potential to make all Australians reconsider how they show appreciation for parents, as well as other significant people in their lives. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, Father's Day, it is clear that Father's Day should be renamed to Special Persons Day. Thank you for listening.
I now call upon the second negative speaker, Matilda Braithwaite.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that Father's Day should be renamed Special Persons Day. We, the negative team, strongly disagree with this statement. Our first speaker has already discussed the economic issues if this day was to be renamed. She also told you about the diversity that Father's Day brings to our society. Today, I will focus on the value and meaning of Father's Day and the inequality created if this proposal were to be fulfilled. Before I begin my speech, I'd like to point out some flaws in the opposition's argument. The first affirmative speaker referred to Dr. Red Ruby Scarlett as a source. This source is biased and uncertified, as Dr. Scarlett continually refers to research and statistics, but when interviewed by places such as the Daily News, she was unable to name any of these sources. Therefore, this argument should be discounted. The second speaker has used the example of Parents' Day to show how beneficial it is to remove the terms mother and father in the days we use to recognise their contribution. Firstly, this is not an appropriate comparison. Not only does it still hold the significance of the day as it still uses a term related to father and mother, unlike Special Persons Day, but it also doesn't lead to equality, as I will discuss later on. Therefore, this argument should not be counted. Now to my first point, that Father's Day should not be renamed Special Persons Day because it will lose the true value and meaning that this celebratory day holds. Father's Day was initially created to recognise the worldwide contribution that fathers and father figures make to the lives of their children and grandchildren. It's a family-based day to celebrate the contribution these men give daily, not to celebrate a broad spectrum of special people, mothers included. A report by Society for the Festivals stated that Father's Day is needed to acknowledge the selfless service in nurturing our lives, and that children's emotional bonds strengthen with their father figure on this day, allowing them to become closer while appreciating the altruistic care fathers provide. Renaming Father's Day to Special Persons Day not only changes the meaning in this particular day, but in all father-related events. How far are we planning to take this changed meaning in Father's Day? Is it expected that father-daughter camps are renamed to Special Person and their Child camps, changing the value in that too? I don't think so. Furthermore, even those without a father figure or biological father still find worth in Father's Day. Before I continue with this statement, I'd like to point out that no one is obliged to celebrate Father's Day and that people have the control to celebrate it or not. People who don't wish to celebrate Father's Day are not and will not be forced to celebrate it. Although the 4% of people who have lost a father can embrace fond memories and use it as a day of celebration for their father's life. Certified journalist Lisa Appello of the Crosswalk News studied the effects Father's Day has on those missing a father in their lives. She found that embracing this day can assist on the road to healthy healing because people can learn to manage their emotions and memories, allowing them to thrive in life despite the loss. Appello also discovered that many who don't have a biological father use this day to celebrate other father-like men in our society, such as grandparents, husbands, uncles, cousins, mentors and friends, stating that to ignore Father's Day would be to ignore the gift that these men possess. Renaming Father's Day to Special Persons Day simply isn't the key, as the true value of fathers and their benevolence would be lost. Moving on to my second point, that a vast amount of inequality is created if this day were to be renamed. Our society is founded on the ideas of fairness and equality, yet suddenly Father's Day is being targeted as an unfair and exclusive event, while Mother's Day remains untouched. Equality was named the most important quality a strong community must possess to thrive by the Australian Human Rights Commission Act 1986, as it is needed to create livability, productivity and confidence in Australians and their communities. Taking Father's Day and renaming it Special Persons Day creates a huge imbalance in the social equality scale, as the 70.1 million fathers feel targeted, as it is unfair that we are taking their special day and widening it to almost everybody. An imbalance in equality in turn affects our nation as a whole. An analysis of unequal communities conducted by the Equality Trust found that education, crime, health and economic downfalls were closely linked to the level of inequality possessed by a community. It was found that there was a close correlation between low maths, science and English scores and the inequality in an area. Similarly, inequality creates tension between employees in the workplace, meaning they are less productive and the likelihood of a financial crisis increases. Removing Father's Day impacts negatively on fathers and on the general Australian public because it infers that fathers are considered inferior to mothers, creating inequality which leads to the issues I previously outlined. Why are we targeting Father's Day when there are over 200,000 children out there without mothers and our economy, education and health levels could fall? It just doesn't add up. It is clear that Father's Day should not be renamed because it would create a major imbalance on the social scale, in turn affecting our society as a whole. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, Father's Day should undeniably not be renamed Special Persons Day because of the value and equality lost. Not only is Special Persons Day an unsuiting name, but a day which lacks any historical or social value. Thank you.
I now call upon the third affirmative, Ellen Zhang.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As third speaker of tonight's debate, I will be summarising our team's argument and rebutting the opposition's case. So now I'd first like to point out some obvious flaws in the opposition's argument. Now, the opposition's entire argument revolves around three main themes. First, the first speaker addressing the social theme and economic theme, and the second speaker covering the value and inequality that changing the name will bring. First, I would like to rebut the first speaker of the negative team. The first speaker covered the social aspect, saying that keeping the name helps us understand that families are different and therefore we can be more empathetic. Ladies and gentlemen, to be empathetic is to include. Instead of acknowledging our differences, we should be coming together on Special Persons Day and celebrating a day of empathy where we include unconventional family types and children who may not have a father and can still be included on this day to celebrate a special person that they value. So ladies and gentlemen, when the opposition states that it reduces empathy, ladies and gentlemen, Special Persons Day is a day of empathy and inclusion. The first speaker additionally stated that changing a name only results in negative feedback by society. Ladies and gentlemen, until action is taken, we won't know the result of it. You can't just assume that it will have negative impacts if it had negative feedback before the change was instigated. And additionally, Parents' Day in the US and South Korea and Philippines, as our second speaker has already stated, resulted in positive feedback. So when the opposition states that only results in negative feedback, this is false. Additionally, the first speaker under the economic theme stated that it is financially a bad decision. Ladies and gentlemen, it is no different financially to change the name to Special Persons Day. It's similar to current commercialisation, as our first speaker has already stated, and if we want change, it requires time and effort. Time and effort is unavoidable if we want to make a change and make sure it has a positive impact. And additionally, as our first and second speaker have already proven, Special Persons Day will have great benefits. The second speaker of the opposition's team covered the inequality and how it diminishes the value of Father's Day as a whole. Ladies and gentlemen, we're not suggesting that we devalue fathers or their role in society by changing the name. Special Persons Day will still hold the same core ideas and values that Father's Day has. It's still the same day with the same value for fathers, except more inclusive. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what Special Persons Day is about. It's about inclusiveness. We're not devaluing fathers, we're not being unequal, we're not reducing empathy, as the team has tried to tell you. We are including. I will now summarise our team's argument. Our team's first speaker, Hattie, addressed the social side of this debate, talking about how changing the name promotes the opportunity for those who don't meet conventional parent roles to get involved, and it is a day for society to become more inclusive. Our team's second speaker, Hannah, addressed the political and economic aspect, explaining that there are already public holidays in other countries which share the same value as Special Persons Day, running successfully with vast benefits, and she also elaborated on how Father's Day is grossly commercialised, and changing the name of this public holiday could be a way for us to rethink this celebration. In conclusion, we as the affirmative team, for all the points stated, strongly believe that Father's Day should be renamed Special Persons Day.
I now call upon the third negative speaker, Emily Downey.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, Madam Chairperson and Adjudicator. This evening I'm arguing that Father's Day should not be renamed Special Persons Day. Tonight I will be summarising the reasons why we believe this, but first I will rebut the opposition's argument. The third speaker has reiterated in her speech that by changing the name we are being more inclusive. But why should we be being more inclusive? How is Father's Day exclusive if the members are not forced... How is Father's Day being more inclusive? We should not be changing the name to make Father's Day more inclusive. To be more inclusive, we should be focusing our energy on everyday things, not just one day of the year, like by using bullying projects to stop bullying for children who don't have parents, so we're helping them every day and not just in one day of the year. The first speaker has tried to argue that changing Father's Day to Special Persons Day will be more allowing to family members who don't identify to be a mother or a father. In this argument, the affirmative team are appealing to stereotypes of a motherly or fatherly role. No one is saying that a motherly figure must be the one who does the dishes or does the housework. The opposition also argue that people who don't have fathers on a Special Persons Day would be ostracised. This is wrong, as they should be using Father's Day as an opportunity to recognise a fatherly figure or reach out to a father or remember one who has died. The affirmative team's first speaker has said that making Father's Day Special Persons Day, our children and future generations will have a more inclusive mindset. We disagree, as they have only provided evidence of this from one source, professional Dr. Red Ruby Scarlett. This appeals to the fallacy of bias. The research provided from the opposition requires more backing up from different points of view with different biases. This argument should therefore be discounted. But despite this, our goal shouldn't be removing the word father from our vocabulary just because it may hurt some families, but instead we should be teaching our children to be more empathetic, like our first speaker has already explained. Continuing to remove words that don't suit the whole population will remove our diversity and ability to be empathetic, which is more important than an inclusive mindset. The second affirmative has stated that Father's Day is grossly commercialised, but changing Father's Day to Special Persons Day will cost millions of dollars. It would cost $2.4 million to change the name alone. As well as this, merchandise saying Father's Day would have to be thrown out. And who's to say a Special Persons Day will not turn into the grossly commercialised day that Father's Day is currently. The affirmative team have said that we should change the name due to Father's Day only being a small hallmark holiday, tiny in economic value and meaning compared to Mother's Day. If this is true, it is no reason to change Father's Day to Special Persons Day. Whatever happened to protecting the little guy? Just because Father's Day isn't as good as Mother's Day is not a reason we need to totally change it. And there is no evidence that a Special Persons Day would not meet up to the same Mother's Day standards, and for all we know, it could do even worse than Father's Day. The third speaker has said that being inclusive is being empathetic. This is entirely wrong. We are not being empathetic if the government changes the name. For us to develop empathy, we need to take the initiative and be kind to those without fathers. Now I will summarise my team's extremely strong case. Our first speaker highlighted how important it is to accept the diversity in every family and use every opportunity to develop empathy. She then went on to explain the money and time wasted on this name change that would have no or little benefit. This was followed by our second speaker, who spoke about the meaning Father's Day has and how changing the name would diminish its value. She also discussed the inequality caused by only changing the name of Father's Day and not Mother's Day. So, ladies and gentlemen, we should not be changing the name of a day so rich in meaning for so many people and their fatherly figures, but instead make a separate day that doesn't ignore the amazing diversity we share between each family and instead embraces it and gives us all the opportunity to develop empathy and sympathy. Father's Day should remain as a day where we appreciate all fatherly figures in our lives, whoever they may be, and should certainly not be renamed Special Persons Day.